The Raiders start the season 1-0, and this one is special. This wasn't just a win. This was a statement. This was the kind of game that tests a team's heart, their mental toughness, and their preparation. Cross-country road trip, pouring rain, hostile Foxborough crowd, tough Patriots defense. All the ingredients were there for an ugly loss. But the Raiders didn't just survive. They won. 20-13. And for Raider Nation, that's huge because, let's be honest, in recent years, this is the type of game the Raiders lose 9 times out of 10. Not this time. And I want to walk you through exactly how they did it, what went right, what still needs to be fixed, and what this win tells us about this team's ceiling going forward. There's a lot to unpack, so buckle up because we're diving deep into every piece of this game. What's up, Raiders fans? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Raiders. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about breaking down everything you need to know about the Raiders. The game started perfectly. The Raiders opened with a crisp drive, marching right down the field for a touchdown. You couldn't ask for a better start. Geno Smith looked sharp. The play calling was on point, and you thought, okay, this might be smooth sailing. But then it got bumpy. After that opening touchdown, the offense completely stalled. The Patriots' defense, especially their front seven, started dictating the line of scrimmage. Harold Landry was in attack mode. Christian Barmore was wrecking things up the middle. Keion White was causing problems off the edge, and the Raiders' offensive line just didn't have answers. Penalties piled up, missed assignments popped up everywhere, and the Patriots' blitz packages, they were disguised beautifully. Geno didn't have much time to throw, and the run game, if you can even call it that, was completely non-existent. Ashton Jeanty carried the ball 19 times for 38 yards. That's 2 yards per carry. 2. Brutal. Now, I'm not putting this on Jeanty because, honestly, he didn't have a chance. On most of those runs, he was getting hit in the backfield before he even got going. There was no push up front, no holes to hit, nothing. The weather didn't help either. It was wet, slippery, the kind of game where footing is tough for both sides. And here's something we sometimes forget watching in 4K at home. We can't feel the weather. We can't feel that ball slipping. We can't feel how heavy the field gets. But the players? It's a whole different story for them. This was a grind-it-out kind of day. By halftime, the Raiders had just 7 points. Daniel Carlson had a chance to tie it with a monster 58 or 59-yard field goal. But in those conditions, that's almost impossible. He missed, and they went into the locker room down 10-7. And let me tell you, at that point, I was nervous. Raider fans everywhere were nervous because we've seen this movie before. Team comes out hot, things fall apart, adjustments never come. And by the fourth quarter, you're sitting there shaking your head. But this game was different. This coaching staff, led by Pete Carroll, made real halftime adjustments, something we have not seen consistently from this franchise in years. The second half opened, and it was like a switch flipping. The Raiders came out aggressive, focused, and ready to impose their will. They scored 13 points in the second half while holding the Patriots to just 3. That's a championship-level adjustment right there. Now let's talk about the star of this game, Gino Smith. Look, the box score tells part of the story. 24 of 34, 362 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That's a phenomenal stat line, especially in that weather. But the story goes deeper. Geno wasn't just efficient. He was fearless. Even when the pocket was collapsing, even when the Patriots were bringing pressure, he kept pushing the ball downfield. This offense has a clear identity. They want to attack vertically. They want chunk plays, and Geno embraced that completely. Early in the game, he had a couple of throws where you could tell he was feeling things out, trying to read the defense. The interception was really his only bad decision of the day. Maybe it was the most fearless decision, but once he locked in, he was dealing. Deep balls, intermediate shots, sideline throws, you name it, he was hitting it. And let's give credit to his weapons. Brock Bowers. Guys, what a game from this kid. 103 yards receiving, including a critical 38-yard catch on a beautifully designed play. That play flipped the game's momentum. Trey Tucker, only 2 catches, but one was a 28-yard touchdown that had the sideline going nuts. Donte Thornton's third and long grab late in the fourth quarter, absolutely clutch. Jack Beck chipped in with a big 23-yard catch on 3rd down 2. This offense isn't built to dink and dunk you to death. It's built to hit you with knockout punches. And that's exactly what they did. Even when drives weren't consistent, those explosive plays kept them alive. And think about it. These guys weren't even heavily targeted. Tucker had 2 catches, Thornton had 2, Beck had 1, but each of those limited touches was massive. That's efficiency. That's playmakers doing their jobs in the biggest moments. Now, about Brock Bowers, there was a scary moment late in the game when he came off holding his leg. At first, it looked like a knee injury, and you could almost hear Raider Nation holding its collective breath. Losing him would have been a disaster. Thankfully, the reports after the game were positive. Bowers himself said he's fine. No serious damage, no long-term concerns. Huge relief because he's already one of the most important players on this roster. When defenses double him, it opens up everything for guys like Tucker and Thornton, and when they don't double him, he's a nightmare one-on-one. Switching gears, let's talk about this offensive line because, honestly, they were a mixed bag. First half, bad. No other way to say it. Missed blitz pickups, penalties, no push in the run game. Geno was under constant duress. Jackson Powers-Johnson, DJ Glaze, Dylan Parham, they all had rough stretches. There was even a holding call on Glaze that killed a drive. It was ugly. But here's the thing. This is a young group still finding its rhythm. JPJ moved from center to guard just a week into training camp. That's a tough transition. Glaze is a young tackle who's still learning. Chemistry takes time, and to their credit, they did improve after halftime. The protection was noticeably cleaner in the second half. Geno had more time, and the offense settled in. Defensively, this game was a tale of two halves. In the first half, the Raiders couldn't stop a nosebleed. After their opening drive, the Patriots had 3 straight possessions where they marched right down the field. Luckily, the Raiders' red zone defense held firm, forcing 2 field goals, and New England even missed 1. But the warning signs were there. The pass rush wasn't getting home, the front 4 looked flat. And Drake May had way too much time to throw. Patrick Graham, to his credit, didn't just sit back and hope things got better. He adjusted. In the second half, he started sending blitzes, mixing up looks, and even moving Maxx Crosby around the formation. At one point, Crosby lined up inside against the Patriots' rookie left guard, and he feasted. He generated multiple pressures from that alignment alone. That's smart coaching. That's game planning in real time. Maxx Crosby was, once again, the heart and soul of this defense. He didn't just get pressures, he created chaos. His hit on Drake May led directly to Isaiah Pola Mao's interception, which was one of the defining plays of the game. That turnover completely flipped the momentum. You could feel the energy shift. Suddenly, the Raiders were in control. Malcolm Koonce also deserves a ton of credit. His strip sack was a massive moment. Even though the Raiders didn't recover the fumble, it forced a punt and completely changed the field position battle. Those are the kinds of plays that don't always show up in the final score, but they're game changers. Now, Tyree Wilson, let's be honest here. Yes, he got a sack, but it was a cleanup sack. He didn't beat his blocker one-on-one. He was in the right place at the right time because Crosby flushed May right into his arms. Wilson is still an elite run defender, no question about that. But as a pass rusher, he's got to take that next step. This team needs him to consistently win his matchups. Today, that didn't happen. In the secondary, Kyu Blu Kelly was a revelation. 9 tackles, tight coverage, physical play. He looked like a seasoned veteran out there. Remember, this guy wasn't even on the roster at the start of camp. Now, he's arguably the Raiders' best cornerback. That's wild. His emergence could completely change the ceiling for this defense. This game was full of little moments that swung momentum. Pola Mao's interception, Crosby's pressures, Koonce's strip sack, Thornton's clutch third down catch, even Trey Tucker's touchdown. All of these plays add up. That's how you win in the NFL. It's not about one giant highlight. It's about stacking little victories until the other team breaks. Raider Nation, this is just the beginning. There's work to be done, but for the first time in a long time, it feels like the Raiders are truly heading in the right direction. So let's enjoy.